Hello, this is April Perry with Learn, Do, Become. Today we're talking about 4 common problems that can be solved when you get organized. And specifically, when you get organized using your STEP Command Central, which we will jump in and talk about today. I actually recorded this with our daughter, Aaliyah. She is in college right now. She has grown up with this system because I learned it when she was around, I think, 9 or 10 years old. And today we were talking as we were getting ready to plan our 4 weeks to finish and planning some upcoming events and having a good time doing that. And she said, I think it'd be really helpful to share some of these ideas that I've been talking to some of our new members about and talking about some of the concerns people have and how organizing really helps them. And I said, okay, let's go ahead and press record. So we just jumped into a podcast and had a great time. And then she had to jump off to a college class. But I hope that you'll enjoy just this conversation discussing these 4 specific problems that I'm guessing that you have right now. And then I want you to be able to see the vision of how those problems actually can go away. So I'm excited. Here we go. All right, let's jump into the common problems that can be solved by organization. I'm so excited you're here, Leah.
Me too. Let's do it.
Okay, so number 1, how to break down a new project. You just taught a class and helped people learn how to do this. Do you want to share a little about your experience?
Yes. So I was in charge of teaching a little class for a lot of women from my church. And they said, hey, it's the new year. We can have someone come in and teach about self-defense. And then Aaliyah can come in and teach about organizing. So it was 2 very different topics at the event, but it was super fun to talk about organizing a little bit. And the first thing we talked about, or one of the first things, was breaking down big projects. And I said something kind of funny. I said to the group, does anyone have a project that's really big that they're really excited to start? And nobody raised their hand. I'm like, any project. And they're like, well, I have a lot that I'm not excited to start. And I was like, oh, okay, sorry, maybe I should rephrase that. Does anyone just have a big project in life going on right now? And then we had people saying, well, I want to organize my basement closet. It's a mess. I don't even touch it. Like, it's been a problem for a long time and I just want to get to it, but I don't know where to start. Or someone wants their living room cleaned so they can have guests over. But these things that they're listing are huge things that can't be done in an afternoon or a weekend. It's something that they just keep putting off because it's so stressful and they don't know how to even begin to tackle something so giant.
So what did you give them as their solution?
So we talked about next actions, which I think we'll talk about in the podcast in a little bit. But we just talked about how you're thinking of the very, very next action that you can take to just begin that project. And so for the lady with the closet, I said, okay, maybe the first thing is to just first consider where you want the things to go in the closet, have those piles ready for trash, donations, move somewhere else, and then leave in the closet. So just like establish where you want things to go. And then your first step might be just clear the first walkway into the closet. Like, don't even think about tackling the whole thing, but like, just make sure you can like make a space to get into the closet or clear the floor if it's a short, narrow closet. But we just talked about how it's segmenting it into super small areas at a time. And then maybe saying, I just want to process this one basket of stuff or this one box of toys or this one little thing. And when I talked about it like that, it was like these light bulbs went off for, wow, yeah, I could just go down and spend 20 minutes doing a little part of my closet and not feeling overwhelmed and sad when I leave and it's still not organized, but that one small part is, and that's what matters.
I love that. And I'm personally doing this right now where we have 2 closets that are in my office area. One is more like a linen closet next to a bathroom. And then one is where I have all of my actual office supplies. But I've noticed that the closets have kind of not been working very well. And I kept thinking, oh, I want to make this one of my main projects. But then cleaning that cleaning that closet never feels like a priority because it's like, oh, it's fine, So then I decided, well, what if I just broke it down to really simple next actions and just added maybe one to my next actions list and kept it kind of as an informal project. And so literally I broke it down to things like take everything out of the linen closet that's a bathroom item and put it in the bathroom cupboard, which is empty right now because Ethan moved out.
That makes sense.
So I moved all those things. And then now my next action that I have on my list is look in my main office closet and just put all the gifts that I've been saving in there. Like I have journals to give to people or some gift cards, put all of those in one section because right now they're kind of strewn throughout the whole closet. And so that there's zero stress. But now that I have broken it down, I'm like, oh, this office closet is going to look beautiful soon, but I'm not worried about it. So I love that you did that. And I love that you saw the light bulb go off. Because isn't that the most exciting thing? The most exciting thing, but when you can watch somebody realize that this big thing that they've been procrastinating feels doable.
Exactly. And I think one thing too that is important to mention is, well, how are you putting this into your projects list? Because you always talk about how you shouldn't have more than 7 or 8 current projects.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you're going to burn yourself out and things aren't going to actually progress for those individual projects. So where do you put yours? Because for these people, they haven't created a current projects list before. So
Yeah.
they're really, it's really easy for them to add brand new projects to their list and then have their someday projects list in their waiting area. But what do you do for your active project, like the closet?
Yeah. So, well, my closet is kind of a hidden project, to be honest, which I usually teach not to do that. But right now, inside of Asana, so I use Asana, asana.com. I have the free version, and I have my personal projects, family projects, business projects all organized in there. And then I have them all tiered. All my brainstorm projects are in there as well. They're all organized. But then I just have a chalkboard in my office and I just have my 6, 7 projects on there. I probably should add the office one on there because technically I'm working on it, but I actually have my office as a next in line project. But I just kind of added this little next action onto my list. So I feel like I'm just getting ahead of the game.
So
I
for
don't
you,
know.
it
It just
feels
sounded
more
like
like
fun.
a fun, like side thing. It's
Yeah, it
not a
was more like,
huge thing you have to tackle.
well, because I really don't care if I accomplish this project this month. It was just something where I thought, it would be nice to just get all the gifts organized in one area
Mm-hmm.
and make at least like some progress on it. So it's that as a next in line progress, but I just thought it'd be fun to do that more. So
No, I like
the
it. I think it's good. It's good to see that like you don't have to have something be super official to make it
yeah.
work into your schedule. Like if you do have a few minutes where you're feeling motivated to clean the closet, then
Yeah.
yeah, clean the
But what's
closet.
on my list, my current projects that are actually on my chalkboard, I have full confidence all of those are going to be done by the end of the month, or at least have significant progress made towards the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want everyone to feel is like, it's
Yeah.
okay if if there's a lot of other stuff that's not getting done, but you've decided
Mm-hmm.
it's not a priority, that's fine. David
Yeah.
Allen, author of Getting Things Done, always talks about how you need to feel good about the things that you're not doing. And that was an eye
Mm-hmm.
opener to me because otherwise, if you feel stressed or overwhelmed by all the things you're not doing, then you're never going to feel happy.
You're just gonna be
And
sad all the time, and that's not gonna help you.
I want to feel motivated and excited. And so,
Yeah.
anyway, okay, so let's jump to number 2. Let's go into next actions a little bit more. You had a fun
Yeah.
story with Grandma Peggy. I want to hear.
Yes. So I personally, I have never been a fan. I mean, I practice most of the STEP program, but for some reason, I just don't like the idea of having a next actions list, especially like, I don't know, it's the weirdest thing. Yeah. So I just made a note in my notes app and it's called context-based next actions list. It has an emoji of a car, a house, phone, whatever other context I have in my life that I just have random tasks that pop into my head or just pop into my schedule. And I found that I was actually emailing myself all these tasks like, oh, call so and so. Oh, do this errand, go shopping here. And I realized I didn't need to be emailing myself little tasks. I could just put them in a little home, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that you have written down on paper in your planner, which is great, but I don't carry a paper planner. I carry my phone. And so I found that digital works better for me. But, anyways, I was trying to explain what I was teaching in this church class to my grandma. I went and visited her. And it was funny because as we were talking about context based next actions, where it's something not urgent that should probably happen within that week that you could do anytime you have free time. And it was funny because she said, oh my goodness, I have this task that I've been moving on my calendar. And I've moved it like 3 weeks in a row now, like every single day, it just keeps moving. And she showed me her little cute, like crossed out pencil line of like what she had in her calendar. And then she moved it to the next Tuesday and the next Thursday and the next, like it just kept bouncing on her calendar. But it wasn't something urgent that had to happen that day. It just needed to happen at some point. And it was to help one of her kids get some addresses and stuff. And so she was like, that would be so helpful if I just had a little sticky note or a little place to write
Yeah.
down these things. So whenever I have that moment of free time or I'm planning what errands I need to run or planning what phone calls to make, I just have a little list that's like my master list of all my tasks. And so I thought it was cute that like my grandma and I could share a bonding moment of next actions together.
Well, and
So
that's something I learned again from David Allen, the book Getting Things Done. And the only adaptation I've made to it is when he talks about making your list, like computer errands or whatever. He doesn't talk
mhm.
about having a finite list. It's more like, oh, yeah, it can be as long as it needs to be or whatever. But what I found is I was adding 20, 30, 40 things. It kept growing and growing. So what I do is make sure my next actions list only has maybe 1 to 3 things in each context per week. And then if I'm not doing it in a week's time, well, does that go on a someday list then? Does it go somewhere else? Because you don't want to just feel overwhelmed. You want to think, oh yeah, this feels really doable. It needs to give your heart that lift,
Exactly. And I think I have an example of where I kept something on my list for too long where I needed to, it was in my conversations section, and I wanted to have a conversation with someone who was interested in something entrepreneurial. And it was like, help so and so start a business. Like, that's not a next action. Like, I had that in my conversations list. And of course, like, whenever I'm with that person, I'm not like, okay, let's start a business. Let's talk about business. Like, that's never going to happen. And I had to realize that's a Sunday thing. And I let them know that if they're ever interested, we can schedule a time to talk. And so it had to become a thing where it is a someday thing, but it's conditional on, are they still interested in that? It's kind of off my plate now. And now it's in their court. Okay, whenever you're ready, you talk to me. It's off when.
So good. So that's super smart. All right, number 3, let's talk about nagging objects. I actually got a message from a friend on Facebook, and she was sharing that as she walks around her house, there's objects that nag, like, oh, a box of things for doing a homeschool activity. Oh, I need to redo the homeschool curriculum. Or, I was going through this all the time where I'd walk by the trash can and there's all these ants in the trash can in the garage. And I'm thinking, oh, we need to go buy some ant spray, but I can't do it right now. And then I'd go, up to the bedrooms and all the clothes are kind of falling out of the drawers because we need a new drawer, and I need to buy new drawers. And so when you have constant reminders, whether it's as you're doing digital work or as you're walking around your house or whatever, when your mind is constantly spinning in circle and objects are nagging you, organization can solve that, not just being organized in a general way, but using a system like our STEP system. It actually does solve it. So I'll just give 2 examples from the ones I just talked about, what we would actually do with that. And I'd love for you to share your story that you're talking about with the mending. Okay. So let's say as you're walking around the house, and let's say you do homeschool, and let's say you need to redo the homeschool curriculum, and you keep seeing this pile. That is a project. That's not a next action. That's a full project to redo a whole curriculum. But you need to decide where that goes on your projects list. Is that one of your 7 or 8 maximum current projects for this month? Is that your highest priority? Or do you have other things you need to do this month, and that's maybe in line for next month? So you could have it on your next in line list with a calendar trigger to remind you at the end of this month to evaluate and decide. But let's say you put it on your next in line. Let's say you said, okay, this month we got enough going on. I'm not going to try to redo the whole curriculum this month, but it's on my next in line list with a calendar trigger. It's going to remind me about it at the end of the month. Then every time you see it, your brain's calm because it's like, it's okay, your system's got it. And so that's what I love. Or let's say you see you need ant spray because there's ants all over. And you think, okay, let me put that on my errands list. Is if I'm the person who's going to buy it, then I'm going to put that on my errands list. And you just go add it to your next actions list, errands, buy ant spray. And then anytime you see the ants, you're like, it's okay, it's on my errands list. I'll get it this week next time I go out. And so that way your brain just calms down. But the problem is most people don't have a system in place. And so what happens is either the objects nag them to death and they're grumpy and angry because they're making decisions every time they see it. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, should I do it? And then they're thinking thoughts like, I'm behind, I'm stressed, I'm a loser, I'm whatever, those thoughts that go into your head. Or the way David Allen explains it is your mind goes numb to the piles and you just stop seeing it. You don't even pay attention to it because it's so much stress. When you do think about it, you just stop. But what happens is then you end up with piles everywhere that you're not even thinking about, and your brain is numb and you feel like, I just can't even accept anything more into my life because I'm so overwhelmed. So, okay. So those are 2 examples. You want to share your story?
Yeah. So we ordered some pants online for my husband, and when he tried them on, they were a little bit too long. And so we got some of that like hemming tape so you don't have to sew it. But the thing is, both of us don't really know how to use the hemming tape. Like, it's probably super easy, but we need to go watch a YouTube video and then do it and then measure it. Like, it's multi-steps, but it's not a huge project. And so I realized that the hemming tape and the pants were just sitting on our table, and they've been there for probably a month. Like, every time we walk past it, I don't even notice it. You're right. Like, I don't even notice it because it's been there so long. And obviously we don't want to have pants just sitting there waiting to be done. And so we have one of those, like, it's 12 little square cubbies. It's a little holder, like a bookshelf, or it has little compartments that you can put things in. And I found that we had an open drawer that goes inside the cubby. And I just said, it's empty. I'm just going to put the pants in here. And this can be kind of like a support material area for tiny projects like that. And so that way the pants, like I have it on a little like someday projects list. He doesn't need the pants right now. We'll get to them. Like if I have
Yeah.
time and I'm excited to go measure pants and learn how to hem, like when I'm ready for that, I have all of that in the box and it's in a place where it belongs. It's not
Yeah.
sitting on the table anymore. And
Yeah.
that's really helped me to get rid of like the idea of, oh, I need to do it all right now. Because I used to have that mentality a lot where if I don't do this project right now, it's not going to get done. Or I just like to think, oh, I'm a doer. I like to do lots of things. So if I don't do it immediately, then I might not be as good of a doer or a project completer. And I think getting outside of that mentality of thinking, it's okay to put things on the back burner or put them in a place where I know I'll come back to them, but they're not urgent and it can wait. And learning about giving myself the time, like the breathing space to wait on little projects like that, that's been huge because there's tons of projects like that. And if we just, let ourselves get burnt out or let the piles build up for little side projects, it's going to add to that mental and physical clutter.
Yeah, you know what? That is so wise that you're learning this now. And I'm laughing thinking back to our mending box. Do you remember that? So when Aaliyah was little, I had this little mending box. I kept it in our little shelf, and we had a tiny little laundry room, and there was a little shelf up above, and I had a bucket there. And whenever the kids got a hole in something, I would just throw it in the mending box. But the thing is, I didn't set it as a routine, and I didn't have it anywhere on a list because there was so much going on. Literally, I just thought, if I feel like mending or if the children need that particular piece of clothing, I know where to find it. It is in this mending box. But most of the time, what would happen? I mean, maybe be 3 things a quarter. It wasn't like there was all this stuff in it.
Yeah, it was like maybe a button fell off or something got torn.
Right. But typically what happened is by the time we went and looked in the mending thing, everyone had grown out of it. And they're like, I don't even want that shirt anymore or whatever. Anyway, it made me laugh because it was just, mending was just not my thing. And you know what? I've just admitted that to myself. I'm not a mender. And if someone else wants to mend, great. I rarely get holes in anything, but that's how it goes.
I think I even brought the needle and thread to you and said, will you teach me how to mend so I can fix my shirt and wear it? Because I was tired of it being in the box. I was like, I want that back and it's not getting done.
How awesome was that? Because then you got to take the initiative and it was like the same thing with helping my friend start a business. Unless your friend is calling you, texting you, ready to take steps, when you take on the responsibility, like, oh, I have to go solve everyone's problems. I need to go mend everyone's clothing. I have to, right? Like, and if someone wants it badly enough, they're going to go figure it out. And yeah, you did. You brought me the needle and thread, Mom. And
I'm ready to mend.
I wasn't great anyway. I know, it was just funny. So anyway, we'll jump on to number 4, but there was one other thing I remembered. I think I found it. I'd posted it on social media a while ago where it was something like, oh, we do have a lot of mending to do. Maybe we should do some mending lessons as a family. And then you looked at me totally seriously and you said, okay, who's going to teach it?
YouTube will teach us every skill we need to know.
No, not Mom. Clearly Mom is not teaching mending. Okay. And then the last one we're going to cover today is just the intersection of everything. And I put everything in quotes. That's a super common problem that I think most people have, is how does it all intersect? Because when you go on YouTube and search how to organize a closet, or you go online and you say, how do I organize my pantry? Or you say, how do I organize my calendar? Or how do I organize, my business or whatever? There's a lot of suggestions on how to do very specific things. But if you want to know, how does everything intersect? How do I make sure I wake up in the morning and I feel excited because I'm going to keep my routines going that keep me healthy? I'm going to spend time with my family. I'm going to be available for new activities or ideas or interruptions or, like all this stuff. Plus, I'm going to make progress in my business or my profession. Or, we got an email actually today. Aaliyah forwarded me an email from someone who's just starting her 4 weeks to finish program, who is explaining everything on her plate. And as I read, I could just feel the overwhelm. And there's a lot. There's a lot on the plate with multiple businesses, multiple LLCs, the profession. And she's like, that's even touch my home and family. Like, this is just what I'm doing professionally. And as I was listening to that, I actually got super excited because I could just see how it all fit together. And I'm like, I can't wait to work with you because we're gonna help you. You're gonna get it all fit together, and it's gonna give you that ability to just breathe. Because that's what I found was the missing piece. Why I'm so passionate about what we teach here at Learn, Do, Become, is because my head could not wrap itself around everything. I could wrap myself around things like, okay, I got laundry done, or okay, my calendar, my schedule, I'm going to be where I need to be.
Or even got grocery shopping and meal planning, like.
Yeah. And then when you start saying, well, but then I need to learn this new skill. And then what if I want further education? And then, Eric and I want to, move at some point, or, like all these things that are just bigger. When you feel like you can't fit it all into one system, your brain just feels scattered. And when your brain feels scattered, it's hard to feel calm. It's hard to sleep. Anyway, that's something that I feel excited about. Any thoughts that came to you as we were talking?
I just think that STEP is something, it just really is so holistic. Like the principles seem very simple, like just breaking down a simple project or making a little list and having a list for future things so it's off your mind. I think just thinking about those as simple things, it's kind of like, oh, that sounds like so simple. Like it's almost too easy, too good to be true. Mm-hmm. But I think that it really does affect every single aspect of life, because once you know how to handle an email that leads to a project that leads to like sub actions and everything, mm-hmm. once you realize that every email, phone call, text, conversation, like everything can be filtered, whether it's through the actual system or through the process that you set up. Every single part of your life can be done like through STEP and through the STEP principles. And I think that's just something so awesome where, this person emailed in and said, like, my business is like drowning me, basically, like it's so taking over my life. And that is so common when people maybe have their work, their side business, maybe their spouse's job, like things just get so overwhelming and so piled on. But it doesn't have to be that stressful. It doesn't have to be all overwhelming. It can be very simple and streamlined just by applying a few small things here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much. This has been so fun. Thanks so much for being with us. I hope that you enjoyed the conversation. And if you were thinking, okay, I want more, I'm ready, then we have a couple of links for you. First is learndobecome.com/4weeks, the number 4, WEEKS. If you're listening to the podcast when it launches, that's starting Thursday, February 3rd. This is our highest level of coaching here at Learn, Do, Become, where you can come and actually work with me and Aaliyah and our team here at Learn, Do, Become to coach you through building your own Command Central. This is something I'm very excited about. I'm waking up in the morning just really looking forward to it. So if you want to work with us, we love that. learndobecome.com/4 WEEKS. Hopefully you had a chance to listen to our brand new audio series. It's the 4 weeks to finished organized mindset series. We released all 3 audios on the podcast. So if you're listening to the podcast right now, if you just look at your app, you should see the last 3 recordings were the audio. Otherwise, if you go to learndobecome.com/start today, you can access all the audios, learn how to get the printed version, which is inside of our free community Facebook group, and then learn about the 3 ways we have for you to participate in this 4 weeks to finish. The top way is through our coaching. The second way is through the 1-month schedule of the STEP program. And then we have a play along at home, which is where you're going to be able to get some bite-sized assignments that can help you to be able to build momentum and build a foundation. And when I say play along at home, I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. I'm saying this is play. This is fun. This is something that's going to give you that lift, the same joy and excitement and giddiness as if you were outside playing a game or doing something that you really enjoy. A lot of times there's stress associated with the actual cleaning or organizing or thinking through projects. But when you learn that there's actually a systematic way to go through it, something that actually encompasses all of your projects and tasks and papers and things, it feels like play. It's fun. It's enjoyable. I want you to feel relaxed and happy and purposeful, and I want you to be able to enjoy the people in your life. And this is 100% possible. So, okay, we're excited for you. And we will have the show notes. This is episode 130. So if you go to learndobecome.com/episode 130, we put all the links there as well. All of our podcasts have their own page. Okay. All right. Sending so much love. Thank you all for your support, your kind words, your encouragement of one another, and showing up and doing the things that often feel hard, but then showing yourself that you've got what it takes. It's amazing. Okay, have a great day.